March 7th, 2:16 p.m. Sigmund Freud. In my book, The Story of the Nazis, written by Al Semino, pages 129 to 130, he has a list of the Black Book, the name that was given to the Special Search List, GB, after the war. Compiled by Walter Schellenberg, it was a list of prominent people that were to be arrested by the SS following a successful invasion of Britain by Nazi Germany in the summer of 1940. One of the people it included was Sigmund Freud, founder of psychoanalysis and a Jew, exiled from Vienna but died in 1939. So I looked into Sigmund Freud, and there's a few tabs that I'm going to go over. Freud was born to Ashkenazi Jewish parents in the Moravian town of Freiburg in the Austrian Empire, the first of 8 children. On the 8th of December 1897, Freud was initiated into the German Jewish Cultural Association B'nai B'rith, to which he remained linked all his life, for Freud gave a speech on the interpretation of dreams which had enthusiastic reception. It anticipated the book of the same name, which was published 2 years later. On pepsic.bvsalud.org, titled Tempo Psicanalitico by Martin Francisco Freud, Freemason, his lodge Wien, would not be Freud's splendid isolation. The research hereby undertaken seeks to show the important relationship between Freud and his theories with the Jewish Freemasonry, entitled B'nai B'rith, Sons of the Covenant. We initially evinced what led Freud to join the Brotherhood, the anti-Semitism in vogue in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. We present the history of the creation of the B'nai B'rith, and its origin is indicated in the North American Freemasonry, with adjustments for the Jewish community. Freud's initiation to the Wien Lodge is presented in his own words. The creator of psychoanalysis was not a simple member of the Brotherhood. His engagement with the Lodge was full-hearted, contributing both intellectually and in the administration. For that, we introduce an annotated list of Freud's works in the Lodge. A two-way street happened, Freud influencing the B'nai B'rith and the latter influencing the former. Psychoanalysis until 1907 remained a mostly Jewish subject. This highlights the support to Freud from B'nai B'rith and the latter's importance in the constitution of psychoanalysis as theory, institution, and movement. The metaphor of Freud's official biography about his splendid isolation deserves to be reinterpreted, taking into account that the splendid to Freud at that time was but the Lodge, where he was supported and recognized. Outside the Lodge, he experienced a professional ostracism. We insist on the conclusion that Freud never disconnected from this brotherhood, nor from the Jewish thinking. B'nai B'rith International is an American nonprofit Jewish service organization and was formerly a cultural association for German Jewish immigrants to the United States. B'nai B'rith states that it is committed to the security and continuity of the Jewish people and the state of Israel, combating anti-Semitism and other forms of bigotry. Yeah, that's what they normally call the right-wing party bigots. Homophobic, transphobic, racist, sexist, narrow-minded, and all that you can think of. Although the organization's historic roots stem from a system of fraternal lodges, fraternities, brotherhoods, clubs, secret societies, secret groups are always behind politicians and political affiliations, and units in the late 19th century as fraternal organizations declined throughout the United States. The organization evolved into a dual system of both lodges and units. The membership pattern became more common to other contemporary organizations of members affiliated by contribution in addition to formal dues paying members. B'nai B'rith has members, donors, and supporters around the world. B'nai B'rith was founded in Aaron Seinsheimer's Cafe in New York City's Lower East Side on 13th October 1843. By 12 recent German Jewish immigrants, led by Henry Jones. It was organized as a secret lodge. The new organization represented an attempt to organize Jews of the local community to confront what Isaac Rosenberg, one of the founders, called the deplorable condition of Jews in this our newly adopted country. The new group's purpose, as described in its constitution, called for the traditional functions performed by Jewish societies in Europe, visiting and attending the sick, and protecting and assisting the widow and the orphan. Its founders had hoped that it soon would encompass all Jews in the United States, but this did not happen since other Jewish organizations also were forming around the same time. The German-speaking founders originally named the organization Bundesbrüder, German for Brothers of the Covenant, to reflect their goal of a fraternal order that could provide comfort to the entire spectrum of Jewish Americans. Despite its fraternal and local beginnings, B'nai B'rith spoke out for Jewish rights early in its history, and it used its growing national chain of lodges as a way to exercise political influence on behalf of world Jewry. In 1851, for example, it circulated petitions urging Secretary of State Daniel Webster to demand the end of Jewish disabilities in Switzerland during ongoing trade negotiations. Into the 1920s, the B'nai B'rith continued its political work by joining Jewish delegations and lobbying efforts through which American Jews sought to influence public policy, both domestic and foreign. B'nai B'rith also played a crucial role in transnational Jewish politics. The later spread of the organization around the world made it a nerve center of intra-Jewish communication and mutual endeavor. President Robert Spitzer. Here's an article from benaibrith.org. Robert Spitzer of Mercer Island, Washington, elected president of B'nai B'rith International. January 12, 2025. Robert Spitzer of Mercer Island, Washington, was elected president of B'nai B'rith International by the organization's International Board of Governors during its triennial meeting. Spitzer immediately begins a 3-year term leading the world's oldest and most widely known Jewish humanitarian human rights and advocacy organization. As president, Spitzer plans to enhance grassroots engagement and further strengthen ties between American and global B'nai B'rith members, continuing the organization's vital work addressing rising anti-Semitism and supporting Israel. In its 182-year history, B'nai B'rith has been one of the Jewish world's leading community builders, Spitzer said. Given the turmoil in the Middle East and the rise of anti-Semitism around the world, its work is more important now than at any other time since the Holocaust. Spitzer previously served as a senior vice president and most recently as the chairman of the B'nai B'rith Strategic Planning Committee. He is a former president of B'nai B'rith Seattle, where he chaired a popular monthly Jewish business and professional breakfast. The son of former B'nai B'rith president Jack Spitzer, Rob Spitzer aspired to join B'nai B'rith's leadership from an early age, having grown up in a household where B'nai B'rith's values were a familiar part of life.